Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Tip of the Day. I think it's day 34 of the Tip of the Day. So today I actually wanted to go back to what I had talked about maybe in the previous video about reading the book, The Myth of Normal by Dr. Gabor Mate and his son, Daniel Mate. In that book, and this is something that even Eckhart has mentioned, in that book, Dr. Gabor Mate talks about that as a child, and I'm paraphrasing all this, as a child, maybe 14 months or 15 months old, his mother gave him up because he's Jewish. And this was during World War II. His mother gave him up to be sent to be taken care of by a relative, maybe for, it was not for a very long time. It was like 5 weeks or something of that sort. But he said that even as a toddler, he remembers that what happens when a parent abandons a child like that, the parent and child connection is cut off. And he says he remembers that he would not look at his mother in the eye when they reconciled and came back together, maybe in 5 weeks or however long, 5 months, whatever the short time was that he was given up and was taken care of by a relative. And in that book, he also says that parents actually get oxytocin, a release of oxytocin, when they look into the eyes of their child. And the same is the case with children. So you don't, especially I live in the United States, how many parents kind of like right now are distracted, right? They don't give attention, like full attention. And this is what Eckhart is talking about, give full presence to their kid. And so that oxytocin release is not there between parent and child. It's a give and take. Like the parent is giving it to the child and the child is giving it to the parent. So if you are a parent of a young kid, especially a toddler or under the age of 12, then please give your child attention. I remember my son is a grown-up kid now, but when he was little, even though I was in the US, I was still influenced by a very South Asian emotion. So I would feed him, I don't even remember, maybe until he was 6 years old or 7 years old, like not not let him take the spoon and eat it by himself. The same is the case with I've already mentioned that he wouldn't sleep as a toddler. So even not only toddler, even until the age 8. He's later on told me that he was very afraid of the room that he was in, which was his room. He was afraid. So he would come by and actually his dad one day when he was 2 years old yelled at him for waking us up in the middle of the night. So I told him be very, very quiet and come quietly. So he would open our door to the master bedroom and he would come quietly as a 2-year-old. And then he would tap me on my shoulder. It was so sweet. How could you not melt away when you, with that sweetness? He would tap me on my shoulder and go, which was, mommy, come lie down beside me. And so I would go pick him up, and then there was a bed in his room, and I would lie down next to him. Or there was a guest room that had 2 beds, and I would make him lie down in one bed, and I would lie down on the next bed. And so I have not had proper sleep, leave alone work at jobs that I work late at night, but have proper sleep for the first 8 years of his life. So yeah, we make that sacrifice, but then there is a bond and connection that is made with the child when we do those kind of things where we are bonded to the child. So the other part to this that Dr. Monte said was, even at the age of 80, because of the initial abandonment of his mother, and Terry Potter actually mentioned this in the workshop, so I wish y'all would attend the workshops as well. So he talks about that he was flying in from somewhere to Vancouver, and his wife was supposed to pick him up, and then his wife texts him, do you want me to pick you up, or is it okay if you can take a taxi? And he just said, okay, I'll take a taxi. But he wouldn't talk to his wife for the next day or so, for 24 hours, until his wife, Ray, said, come on, let it go. So that wound of abandonment. So think of one, if you have children, please give them attention. That is the one tip. The second thing is trying to know of your own, like, self-observation. Anytime that you're feeling impatient, anytime that you're feeling restless, then that is the initial abandonment that you may have experienced. And not last year, but last year was 2021. If you watch our Facebook Live videos from July till December, January timeframe, we spoke about abandonment week after week after week after week, because it was such a deep issue. Most of us are like either physically abandoned or emotionally abandoned. So either way, there is an abandonment issue that we grew up with. So one, understand that abandonment, that you're reacting because of the abandonment that you have experienced as a toddler, as a child, young child. The second part to this is also what I feel is there's also a sense of compassion that arises, and empathy that arises, like when people are in traffic and then they get frustrated and are honking at you, they're acting out their abandonment, that they're getting frustrated, they're getting impatient, the patience is not there because they're acting out their own initial abandonment. The same thing as you're waiting in a line at McDonald's, or you're waiting in the line at the grocery store. When people are getting impatient and yelling and screaming, they're yelling and screaming about their initial hurt, initial wound, the first wound. Was it Thich Nhat Hanh that said that's the first arrow? I mean, the first arrow is the initial abandonment, but this is like the second arrow. So watch out. Maybe Michael Singer talked about it, the first and the second arrow. I don't remember who it was, but just watch out for why are you acting a certain way? And is it because of an initial abandonment? I do love the book. Thank you, Nada. So grateful, eternally grateful to you for suggesting that I should read it. With that, have a spectacular day, everyone. Many blessings, much love. Thank you.